Accumulating wealth, an essential subject from Vinipedia. What do people generally aspire after? People influenced by the materialistic way of thought generally want wealth. They want riches. Accumulation of wealth may be a sign of progress, freedom, and independence, but the actual result of this unnecessary accumulation of wealth is accompanied by the worry of how to properly invest it and protect it from plunderers. Ironically, the more one accumulates wealth, the more one becomes tightly bound up in the chains of material acquisition. The greater the wealth, the greater the anxiety, depression, and depravity. Not knowing the responsibility of this human form of life, where is the happiness for a materialistic person impelled by lust and greed? There is, however, no harm in accumulating wealth by honest dealings if one knows how to properly utilize these assets in Krishna consciousness and not to squander them for purposes that have no permanent value. Srila Prabhupada's books, lectures, conversations and letters offer a comprehensive presentation of this essential subject as seen in the Vinicote's accumulating wealth category. An introduction from his books is given below in the following 8 quotes. Quotes from Srila Prabhupada's books. Uncontrolled, sensuous persons play with the assets of the body and accumulate wealth. But the strength of the body should be used for self-realization, not for sense gratification. Light of the Bhagavata, Chapter 7. O my Lord, I have no attachment for religiosity, or for accumulating wealth, or for enjoying sense gratification. Let these come as they inevitably must, in accordance with my past deeds. But I do pray for this most cherished boon. Birth after birth, let me render unflinching devotional service unto your 2 lotus feet. Mukunda ML Statra, Text 5. If a snake has its poison removed and bites a man, there is no fatal effect. Similarly, wealth accumulated in the cause of the Lord has no poisonous teeth, and the effect is not fatal. A pure devotee is never entangled in material worldly affairs even though he may remain in the world like an ordinary man. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.9. 6. One can give up the desire to accumulate wealth simply by considering how difficult it is to protect the money in one's possession. If one keeps a large amount of cash with him, he is always anxious about keeping it properly. Thus if one discusses the disadvantages of accumulating wealth, he can naturally give up business without difficulty. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.15. 22. One who is in full knowledge should divide his accumulated wealth in 5 parts, for religion, for reputation, for opulence, for sense gratification and for the maintenance of his family members. Such a person is happy in this world and in the next. Srimad Bhagavatam 8.19. 37. Even the highest mode, the material mode of goodness, is also a cause of material bondage, and what to speak of the other qualities, namely passion and ignorance. Passion and ignorance increase the material propensities of hankering for material enjoyment, and a strong sense of lust provokes the accumulation of wealth and power. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13. 54. Karmas are always anxious to accumulate wealth for their sense gratification, but for that purpose they must work very hard. Yet even though they work hard, the results are not satisfying. Indeed, sometimes their work results only in frustration. But devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of the Lord can achieve substantial results without working very hard. These results exceed the devotee's expectations. Srimad Bhagavatam 8.5. 47. Greedy capitalists accumulate wealth under so many miserable conditions, the result being that because they collect money by questionable means, their minds are always agitated. Thus they are unable to sleep at night, and they have to take pills for mental tranquility to invite sleep. And sometimes even the pills are a failure. Consequently, the result of having accumulated money by so much labor is certainly not happiness, but only distress. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.13. 32.